If your orchid is damaged or sick and has lost its crown or all of its leaves, don't panic just yet. But try to take a closer look at what you're actually dealing with. Because today, that is exactly what we are going to do. As you can see, this orchid is suffering from severe dehydration caused by total root system collapse. Notice how the lower leaves are turning yellowish brown as the plant sacrifices them to survive. While the leaves look incredibly thirsty, this is actually caused by overwatering. When the potting medium stays constantly wet without airflow, the roots suffocate and rot, leaving the plant with no way to absorb water. To give this orchid a chance at survival, our first step is to remove the crown from the plant so we can work with it properly. We also need to cut off this completely dried up flower spike. As long as it's attached, the orchid is wasting its limited nutrients on something dead. By removing it, we immediately redirect all of the plant's remaining energy towards survival. Using sterilized shears, trim away the lower part of the crown, removing anything dark, soft, or mushy. Don't be afraid to cut deep. Leaving even a small amount of rot will allow it to spread upward and destroy the plant. Keep cutting until you reach firm, clean, and healthy tissue with no dark spots. Getting a completely clean cut here is what gives the crown its best chance at survival. Oh, and real quick, where are you watching this from? Drop it in the comments below. I always love seeing where everyone is tuning in from. It genuinely surprises me every time. We've got people watching from all over the world, and honestly, that never gets old. Now, give the crown a quick rinse using a gentle water spray, just enough to wash away any residue from the trimming and clear off any remaining debris from the decayed parts we just removed. Work around the base and between the leaves carefully. You want it clean, but you don't want to be rough with it right now.
You're right.
For our first solution, start by filling a clean container with room temperature water. Then, add a teaspoon of honey. Honey acts as a natural antiseptic and provides natural sugars that give a stressed plant an immediate energy boost. Give it a good stir until the honey is completely dissolved and ready for use. With the solution ready, submerge the entire crown into the solution, making sure every part of the base is fully covered. Let it soak for roughly 20 minutes. This soaking time allows the plant tissue to absorb the honey water. While that soaks, let's prepare our second solution by prepare and cut a fresh aloe vera leaf into small pieces directly into a jar to expose the gel and juice. Aloe vera is packed with natural growth hormones, vitamins, and amino acids that directly stimulate root development. For a crown that has lost its root system, this solution sends the essential signal it needs to start growing new roots. Then, fill the jar with water to fully cover the aloe pieces. and stir it well to release the gel and juice. The water will become slightly cloudy, which means the natural compounds are successfully dispersing into the solution. Close the lid and let it infuse while the honey soak finishes, so the second solution is ready right when you need it.
After 30 minutes, remove the crown from the honey solution. You can already see the leaves look slightly less wrinkled and more plumped up, showing that the rehydration is working. The base also looks more hydrated and alive. It's a small change, but it proves the plant is still fighting, and recovery has officially started. And this is also the perfect time to come back to strain the aloe vera solution through a fine mesh strainer. What you're left with is a clean, slightly cloudy liquid packed with all those growth hormones and natural compounds that fully transferred into the water during the infusion time. Before soaking, we have one last ingredient to add to the aloe solution: a single tablet of vitamin B1. Vitamin B1 is incredibly in helping to calm the plant at a cellular level by reducing transplant shock and stress recovery, strengthening its resistance, and encourages the orchid to focus its energy on producing new roots. Using a soaked soft tissue in the solution and thoroughly wipe down every part of the crown, the top and bottom of each leaf, the stem, and the base. This delivers the growth compounds and vitamins directly through the leaf tissue, while the plant is highly receptive. Once wiped down, submerge just the lower half of the crown, leaving the upper leaves and growing tip in the open air. This ensures the base receives the targeted root treatment, while preventing full submersion, which can cause harm and rot. After an hour, take the crown out of the solution and look closely at the base of the stem. You can already see tiny yellow-green nodes waking up. These are dormant buds where your new keikis will emerge. The aloe vera and vitamin B1 are already stimulating the plant at a cellular level, leaving the leaves noticeably fuller and more hydrated. Before potting, we need to apply a light dusting of cinnamon powder directly onto the trimmed areas of the crown. Cinnamon contains cinnamaldehyde, a powerful natural antifungal and antimicrobial compound that acts like a natural bandage. It seals the fresh-cut surfaces, creating a protective barrier that prevents fungi and bacteria from entering while the tissue is vulnerable, without the risk of causing additional chemical stress to the plant. To set up the recovery system, nestle the base of the crown securely into a piece of foam to keep it stable. Next, tuck tissue strips around the base. These will act as natural wicks to draw moisture upward without letting the plant sit directly in water. Place the setup into a container filled with room temperature water just deep enough to reach the bottom of the foam. This creates a passive hydration system, where the tissue wicks moisture to the crown, the foam keeps it elevated, and the reservoir provides continuous hydration. Use a spray bottle to give the crown and leaves a light mist. This maintains humidity around the upper part of the plant that isn't reached by the water wicking system below. Next, cover the setup with a clear lid that has a few small holes poked into it. These holes are essential. A completely sealed environment traps stagnant moisture and triggers fungal growth, but a ventilated cover creates a warm, humid microclimate that mimics a tropical greenhouse while ensuring healthy airflow. Now, place the setup somewhere with bright, indirect light, away from direct sunlight and cold drafts. The best thing you can do for this orchid right now is provide a stable environment.
After 4 weeks, you can see multiple new roots have emerged, clean, white, and healthy, pushing outward with real purpose and direction. This is exactly what we were waiting for. The root system is rebuilding itself from nothing. And not just 1 or 2 roots, we've got multiple roots developing at the same time. And the leaves still holding strong throughout this entire process. This crown that most people would have thrown in the bin without a second thought is now growing brand new roots from scratch. And we did all of this with honey, aloe vera, vitamin B1, and cinnamon. Nothing expensive, just the right method applied at the right time. Now that a healthy root system is developing, it's time to give this orchid a proper home. Start by adding a layer of pine bark to the base of your pot. It's chunky, porous, and allows air to circulate freely while retaining just enough moisture without waterlogging. Carefully position the crown so the delicate new roots sit naturally without bending or breaking. Fill the rest of the pot to the brim with pine bark, working it gently around the roots so the plant is snug, stable, and upright, but not packed so tightly that it blocks essential airflow. Finally, top the pot with a thin layer of moss to act as a surface moisture regulator, slowing down evaporation and keeping the upper root zone from drying out too quickly between waterings. Keep the layer thin. Packing too much moss on top can trap excess moisture on top and restrict essential airflow to the roots below. Give it a final light mist, which will be the baseline for your routine care going forward. Avoid heavy watering or soaking. Instead, provide a gentle mist every couple of days to maintain consistent moisture around the roots and leaves, all while keep the pot in bright, indirect light, away from direct sun and drafts. And after just 1 month, this is the same orchid. The same plant that came to us dehydrated, crownless, with a completely collapsed root system, and leaves so wrinkled they looked like they'd never recover. And now, thick, broad, deep green leaves standing tall and full of life. Not a single sign of stress, not a wrinkle, not a yellow edge, just a completely healthy, thriving orchid that has no idea it was ever supposed to be dead. The root system underneath is strong and established, the plant is stable in its new medium, and if you keep up that simple misting routine we talked about, this orchid is going to continue growing stronger every single week from here. And there you have it, a crownless, completely written off orchid brought back to life with nothing but a few kitchen ingredients and a little bit of patience. If you found this useful, a like and subscribe goes a long way and helps me keep making videos like this for people who actually care about their plants. And I'll see you in the next video.